Hi you guys, and welcome here to this beautiful nature with me. Welcome to this video. I am, as you can see, sitting by the sea here in Oslo in Norway. It's pretty foggy today. I think that quite well mirrors the topic that we are going to talk briefly about today. I don't know if you guys read the post that I put out a few days ago, really about why there's been a while without videos. The reason is that I really want to stay in integrity with the videos I do. I want to have a certain clarity about the things I'm talking about. And as I've told you previously, I am on a journey into the galactic center with these blue beings that I channel. And what they're teaching me is to work with different frequencies that are available in the galactic center. And a lot of this is very experiential to me, so there's been a lot of new experiences sort of out of the blue for me. And as always, it takes some time for the mind to catch up and understand what this is, and to make some sort of sense of it. And this is really the journey I've been on, and I'm still on. But I had one experience last week that I think, what I took away from it is probably one of the most, if not the most important thing for the human to understand and to know. And I think that's, how can I say this? It's so easy to think that we always need something outside of ourselves. We always need to look for something. We always need to take a certain course or to work on ourselves or fix ourselves in order to heal or distract ourselves, or we don't want to feel something and there's something wrong with us, or there's something wrong if just this hadn't happened, or if this person wouldn't have done this thing, or if I just was a bit different in this area, or all these things that we tell ourselves. Because very often we think that so we have learned, right, that when something positive, something we label as positive in our lives is happening to us, then we get a rush of emotions that we do like. We get a rush of, chemicals in our brain. It feels good. It's like, I want more of this, right? The same, that bliss state that I was in for 2 days felt amazing. I would love to be in that state all the time. I'm not, but I learned from it, and I'm going to take that with me. I think we get so caught up in the resistance to not feeling good, so that we think, and that's only a belief, right, that there's something wrong with us when we're not in it, or we have to fix whatever so that we can be in that state. Because when we can be in that state, or when we can feel good, or when we have some sort of escape from the mind really, and what the mind tells us and our beliefs about ourselves, then we will feel good. Then everything will be aligned. Then I will be able to wake up feeling purpose every day. Then I will be able to know who I am. Then I will be able to there's tons of things we are telling ourselves, and I think this is the most important thing to understand, really. What I understood, I was sitting in my garden in the sun, and suddenly the kundalini energy started moving, and it was in my whole body, and it felt like my skin was vibrating right on my whole body, and it was this intense feeling of joy, of gratitude. I mean, I don't really have words to describe it, but it was just an amazing feeling. At the same time, which is the most important thing for me with this experience, is that at the same time as I was in the body and really feeling all these sensations that were really, really pleasant to feel, I also saw my energy body and some of my physical body from above, and I saw the veil of the mind. So I saw the veil of the mind separate from the body. And I could see from the inside of me out without having to look through that veil of the mind. And that was so freeing. It was in that moment, there was this, and I mean, we hear about this, we read about this, we know it to some extent, but to really fully 100% experience it makes me kind of like not wanting to talk about anything else, because it's everything. The mind, if we can remember, we can know that the mind is not who we are, and that the mind is not the one you need to convince or to play games with or to avoid or to figure out in order to be happy. The mind will always be active, and we need to know and remember that it is not who we are. In that moment, I felt absolutely free of self-judgment, of self-criticism. I felt, I guess you can say that is obviously it's self-love, but it wasn't from like, oh my god, now I'm feeling this love for myself. It was just like, it goes without saying kind of thing. It was a full remembrance of who I am, but in a different way, because I've had a couple of those experiences before, and this was a bit different than those. But I hope this makes sense to you guys. What I really want to convey in this video is how much we go into games with our mind, because we feel that we need to trick our mind into something, or we need to analyze whatever with the mind, and we need the mind. It's like everything we do is to get the mind to allow us to relax, or let the mind allow us to do something good for ourselves, or let the mind take a break from judging ourselves for something we have done or have not done, right? It's like this constant imprisoning. It's like we are completely entangled in our minds, and the freedom of, like, those 2 days that I was in that state, I just felt even more drawn to being human. I felt even more drawn to making mistakes. Look, this is a good example. I have always in my life been afraid of making mistakes, like trying to do the things perfect, trying to, like, be this good girl, like, and there's been many layers to that, and I've been healing a lot and changing a lot in regards to that. But there's still, like, in that experience, I really wanted to make mistakes, because it was like this feeling, oh, that's an experience, like, because there wasn't the self-judgment in it. It was the learning experience in it. It was the amount of compassion and love I felt for myself was immense, and that takes away all the judgment, all the criticism. And I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting, like, when this started, I was just sitting in my garden doing nothing at that moment, and it just started, and I was just exploring, experiencing that moment, and that state stayed with me for 2 days. Being free from the mind, being free from that entanglement, that veil, seeing the mind as a veil that is separate from the body, that is separate from the spirit that you are. It's like I feel like I need more words to explain this. I would love to get your questions if you have any in the comments, and if it's not clear, please ask me, because I really want you guys to get this, even though I can't convey the feeling of the experience. The more I can convey of that energy, of that profound experience of the mind and everything we think it is and everything it's not, if that can help anyone out there detaching a bit more from their minds, a bit more from the self-criticism, the self-judgment, the fear of everything in this life. Because what I felt in that moment was just like I just want to live it. It's just experiences. It's like that veil of the mind is just standing in between us, embodied, like the light, the consciousness that we are embodied in this body, actually fully embracing and living this life as a human. And just how much all of those, every moment of a day, all the thoughts that are running through the mind, and we know there are thousands, right? It's like, how can you just have the awareness of how much of that is judging yourself? How much of what you're thinking about the experiences you have, about what you're going to do, about how you're feeling, about what you want to create, even about what has happened in the past, all those thoughts, how much of that has some self-judgment in it? Just take that awareness with you. Observe it. Because when we can free ourselves from that self-judgment, from the self-criticism, and understand that that is just a product by the mind trying to stop us from doing mistakes, trying to stop us from having unpleasant experiences. It's learned thoughts, learned behavior, creating the same emotions, the same chemical reactions in the body that we might even have addictions to. Like, it's not real. It is real. It's actually happening. It's very physical in that sense, but it's not the truth. And it stops us so much. It's holding us so much back from living our truths. And even just saying that is like, that concept even can derail us from who we are, because then we can get this idea of, what is my truth? Who am I? Like it's like this set thing, and it doesn't have to be like this set thing. It is the embodiment of your energy experiencing this life, and that is a very fluid experience. And if we can detach more from the mind and use the mind to learn and to analyze when that is needed, which it is really good at, and then we can stop living our lives by the mind, which that's a tall order, but having this knowing with us, and be aware of how much you're holding yourself back because of self-criticism, because of self-judgment, and because of everything that you're not noticing going through your mind. And start detangling from your mind. Practice every single day. Observe your mind. Remind yourself that you are not it. When you're just sitting at home and you're feeling really shitty about yourself because you have done something, because you have not done something, because you're just not feeling good that day or whatever, ask yourself, what am I telling myself about this experience? Probably that there's something wrong with you, because if there was nothing wrong with you, you wouldn't be feeling that way. That is only the mind repeating a thought of punishment, because if you're doing the right thing, something good happens. If you're doing the bad thing, something bad happens. This is not how it is. It's not at all. We are living in a field of polarity, yes, but the mind tells us that this experience and this life is very different than it is, because we are very entangled in this veil of the mind. So start practicing, start knowing, and let this message be a reminder to you, even you just getting this reminder to come a bit more out of that veil, a bit more out of that fog around here, right? And into yourself. You don't have to pierce through that fog to gain clarity. You just have to let the fog be, because it will be there. Suddenly it will clear, like it did those 2 days for me, right? It cleared. I could see like everything super clearly, and the fog comes back, but it's okay. I can still be here. I can still be in my breath. I can still be me. And I can still remind myself when my mind is telling me all these things. I can remind myself about this experience, and I can choose to come back to it when I want. I hope this is helpful for you guys. Please share in the comments if you have had any experiences like this, or if this is helping you in some way. And also thank you to everyone who's sharing the videos, liking and subscribing. That really assists my work. And I would also love to hear if you have any specific topics that you would love more videos on. So thank you so much for spending this time with me. I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.